Okay. All right, I would like to go over some session reminders for you today. Please feel free to turn your cameras on during our session. This will help our trainer know if you understand the demo while they are presenting. You can use the chat feature to make comments as well if you have any questions along the way. Please use the chat and we will answer them after the demo is completed. We're looking forward to taking your questions, but know that we cannot answer any questions that deal with the business processes at your organization. If you're not sure if your questions falls into this category, please ask it anyway, then we will let you know if the question is specific to your organization. After today's session, your attendance will be marked in the VIP LMS. You will need to complete the survey in the LMS before you see your credit appear on your transcript. The survey will appear on your VIP dashboard by close of business today. So right after the session, I'll take attendance and open up your surveys in the LMS. It will not be emailed to you. Remember, it's in the LMS on the web, and then it's not going to be emailed to you. If you have any questions about your attendance, you can email me anytime or our EVA training coordinator here at VIP, Jennifer Boyles. Her email is on the next slide for you to copy down for your records. Okay, let's learn a little bit about our trainers we have today. I'll go first. I am Mandy Fowler. I'm the assistant manager at the Virginia Institute of Procurement, Here at VIP, I assist with our certification programs, run the marketing and communication efforts, and help with the annual procurement forum. My contact information is on the screen in case you have any follow-up questions. And also, as I mentioned, Jennifer Boyles, our EVA training coordinator's contact information is on the screen too. I'm filling in for Jen today. She's our EVA expert, so bear with me. But I'm here to help with any questions as well. Tracy, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Tracy Robinson. I am the sourcing and contracting support manager here with EVA. So I assist the buyers and procurement officers with anything sourcing related or contracts related. I also assist the suppliers with electronic responses. Right. So thank you for joining us today. Happy to see everyone.
All right, before we go into our demos, we are going to start a poll. I am launching that now. You should be able to see it. We'd like to start off today's session with the poll question. Please select your answer for how long have you been an EVA user? So it's 15 plus years, 6 to 14 years, 1 to 5 years, or if you are a brand new EVA user. So I'll give you a couple seconds to complete that poll question. We have our answers rolling in. I think we're missing just a few more.
Good luck. We have a good mix.
Does. Okay, it looks like just about everyone has answered the poll. Let's see what our results are. All right, so it looks like more than half of you are brand new, but we do have some 15 plus years, 6 to 14, so it's a good mix this morning. All right.
Welcome, welcome.
All right, here's our agenda for today. First, we will conduct a live demo with Tracy. Then we will take your questions. Remember, you can put those in the chat or unmute yourself to ask them out loud. And finally, we will discuss EVA resources to help you after the session ends. For this demonstration, we will look at the following processes: create a contract record from a sourcing event, create a standalone contract, and amend a contract. This is the point where Tracy will take it over from here.
All right, thank you. Let me start sharing. All right. Please let me know when you're able to see my screen.
We can see it.
All righty. All right, so from here, we'll start off with creating the contract from the sourcing event. So you should be familiar with your landing pages from your self-paced training. So we want to start with sourcing, and we're going to click into sourcing and click browse sourcing projects because we want to look for that sourcing project that you created so we could create the contract. So I'm going to click on the sourcing project and navigate to the contracts tab. All right. And here is the supplier that we selected to award. So we're going to come here and we're going to click the create and update contract link. Right. And this creates the contract shell based on the proposal that was awarded in the RFX. So from here, you want to leave the contract as new, right? And then you're going to enter all required information into the general information and scope of application section. All right, so we're going to go ahead and list our contract name. And our contract type is going to be master agreement. So some information came over from the sourcing event. So to have our supplier already listed. If you need to see that supplier information, you can by clicking on the link here and it'll pop you over to the supplier's record. Here's our sourcing project. And this
I
gives
know,
you
right? I forgot.
it gives you the status so far of the contract that's in a draft. And you would need to fill out your contracting entity. Right. And if you want to have someone else to purchase off of this contract, you would need to add them as the authorized entity here, right? Your commodities came over from your sourcing project. So now we can click, well, let me just review some more information. So the the RFP documents. So this information comes over from the sourcing project. So the proposal documents, your team member, and your item, all of the information comes over from your sourcing project. So once we fill out everything here, all the required fields, we can click save and close, and that will create a link to our contract. All right, so here's our link to our contract. So I like to go over and start filling out the contract record from the contracts tab. So let's head on over to the contracts and click browse contract. So here's the contract that we just created. It's in the draft status. So we can click on it. Right. This is our overview tab. We click on our info tab. Some information transfers over from the RFX. So you need to complete the remaining required fields here. Right. So we're going to fill out our opportunity type. This was an IFB. And again, some of our information came over from the sourcing project. Right. So if you need to go look at that sourcing project, you can click on the link here and it will pop you out into that sourcing project. So we're going to put in our procurement transaction type. Right. And then our funding source. If you needed to list multiples, you could. If you needed to list another commodity code, you could. Mhm. And then we have some check boxes here. So if you needed to label this risk assessment required, high risk or revenue generated contracts, you would check the fields, check the boxes here. If you did need additional information on those fields, please reach out to your account executive. Next, we're going to put in our effective date. Right. We'll make this effective today. And then you're going to list your end date. Right. So from here, you can click the save button. All right. So that we filled out the contract header and validity. So we can come down here and put in our renewal schedule. So if you have renewals and you would like to be notified of this contract when it's getting ready to end, you can add your renewal date. Well, your renewal notification date, I'm sorry. Set it for August. All right. And then you can click on Add Renewal to list your term. So we're going to do, this is going to be a year, 1 year term, and click the Save and Close. Right, I'm going to do that again so you can see that again. So click the Add Renewal. This is going to be a year or 1 year. Click Save and Close. So this is our 1 year term. So this is the second 1 year term. So we've finished filling out everything on the Info tab. We can click Save. Right, and navigate to our Hierarchy tab. So the Hierarchy tab, so during the contract period, any amendments will be here. You can see any associated child contracts here. And then you'll also be able to view the PO spend across the contracts. So that'll be populated here. All right, we'll navigate to the Contacts tab. So we have the option to create a supplier contract or select an existing supplier contact. Right, so we're going to select existing if you needed to list that contact. All right, we're going to scroll over here. So like I said, some of the information came over from the sourcing project. So it already lists an internal team member, and it lists me as the responsible contact. We advise that you add another team member in case you're out of the office and need to make changes to your contract. All right. Right. So, and it added them as a contributor. So you want them to be a contributor. The other profile type that we have is a SMED, which is a subject matter expert. So they can only see the contract. They can't take any action on it. So you just want to be, you want to just, make sure that you are aware of which role you're granting someone. Okay. So from here, we can click the Save button. All right. And we'll navigate to the Negotiated Terms tab. So this tab contains optional fields to help you with all terms that you and the supplier agreed to during the proposal submission stage, right? So I just wanted to note that you can fill out any information that you have on these fields if you have them already. If you want to have the contract amount or the, let me navigate over here, the global contract amount. If you want to have that to populate, you would need to put that number here if you want that to populate. I know we got that question before from the field, so while we were doing the training, I just wanted to point that out. So if you want the global contract amount to show here, you would need to add it here, right? Right, so we'll navigate to the price list. So the price list came over from the sourcing project. If you needed to amend it or, review the price list, you would click on the pencil. And that would open it up so you could change or update any information on this page. If you need to get to the pricing, you would come down under the other items, click on the pencil. And this is where you could update the pricing if you needed to update that information. You're going to leave your lines set as approved, the status as approved. All right. So we're going to close this and close this. All right. Next, we're going to go to the Orders tab. So this tab will display orders associated with the version of the contract. You'll also have links available that allow the users to view detailed information, such as the purchase order, suppliers, and then your purchase requisitions. So that's what I have on this tab. Right. So the evaluation tab. So this tab is where users initiate performance evaluations for the contract. Um, if you would like more guidance on how to use this tab, please have your procurement manager reach out to your account executive and they could assist you. All right, we'll click on the documents tab. All right, so our documents came over for our sourcing project. You still would need to go and update the document properties, right? See, its status is draft. You haven't set the publication type, and you haven't set if you want it to be visible to the supplier. So you want to click on the pencil. You don't want to click on that approve button because that'll just approve it. So you want to click on the pencil and open it. Then you're going to set your publication, whether you want it to be confidential, proprietary, or public, and then visible to the supplier. All right. And then if you need to, you can hover over your document, just to review it to make sure it shows a document file size. All right. And then we want to save it and approve it. All right. And then we can click the navigate back to the previous page and get ready to do your second one. So your second one, you're going to click on the pencil. And again, you're going to set your publication type. And you're going to set if you want to make it visible to the supplier. Then we're going to save and approve. All right. Navigate back. All right. Then we have the workflow tab. So the workflow tab displays the details of the contract's approval process. So if you don't have anyone at your agency that's currently in these roles, then you would just keep on clicking to approve through that process. So that's the workflow tab. The expenditures tab. This tab is where you can add expenditures associated with the contract. So the expenditures are specific to the contract version. So it remains with the contract and doesn't carry over from amendments. Right. So if you need more guidance on this tab, then please reach out to your procurement manager and have them reach out to your account executive. Then we have the subcontractor payment tab. So we can click the add plus sign, and then if you already know your supplier, you could select them here or type them in if they're not registered with either. I'm going to go ahead and select our supplier. And put in our SWAM info. All right. Contact's name and contact's email address. And then you're going to either list a planned amount or a percentage amount. So it's either or. Do 50%. And then we're going to click save and close. And that will populate our subcontractor. All right. So next, we filled out everything. It's time to submit. What I like to do before I submit, I just like to go review the contract again and just make sure that everything looks good. Save it again. All right. I'll just tab through all of my tabs again to make sure everything looks good. All of my documents are showing good. They're approved and everything. All right. I'll go back to the workflow tab so you can see that go through. All right, so we're going to click submit. All right, and now approve for signature. And again, if you don't have anyone in these roles, then you would keep on doing approving it until it's signed. So we're going to approve it again. All right, so our contract is running. We can come to the overview tab and see that our status is signed. Now we also want to mark the contract as public. So you can see the little lock right here. Currently it's private. So you want to click mark contract as public. Are you sure you want to make this contract public? You're going to click OK. So that updated the lock here. And so our contract is public now. So that's how you create a contract from a sourcing event. So we'll go ahead and take a look at how you do a standalone one. So we're going to click on contracts and browse contracts. You could click it from here. You can click create, or you can click create here. All right, and we're going to go ahead and list our contract name. Right. Next, we want to list our supplier. Now, I do want to point out that the supplier field and the contracting entity field is not editable on the amendment. So you want to make sure that you're selecting the correct supplier and the correct contracting entity, because you will not be able to update it on the amendment. You would have to cancel the contract and create a new one if you get that incorrect. All right. So we're going to do the opportunity type, contract and entity. If you need to have more access to more contracting entities, you'll reach out to your account executive and they could set that up for you. All right. Then we have the authorized entity field. Again, if you want to have other users purchase off of your contract, you will list them here. Your commodity code. Right. Your funding source. Procurement transaction type. Right. And then we're going to, it already put our effective date in, and we're going to put our end date in. From here, I'm going to save. All right, and we could see that opened up our contract, so we can begin to finish filling out our contract record. So we want to click back on the info tab and scroll down where you're going to start with your renewal schedule, right? And again, if you want to be notified when the contract is getting ready to expire, you want to add your renewal notification date. And then start adding your renewals. So we're going to add two 1-year renewal. If you need to edit that information, you can. You click on the pencil and just make any changes that you need to make. All right, click Save. All right. Again, we have the hierarchy tab. So any contract documents or amendments, child contracts, or the PO spin would be found here. Then we have our contacts. We can select an existing or create a contact. Select our existing. And again, you want to add an internal team member in case you're out of the office. And you want to make sure they have the contributor role. Click Save. And then we're going to go to the negotiated terms tab. And again, these are any information that you can list any information that you have that is which you and the supplier agreed on during the proposal submission stage. Again, if you would like to see the global amount populated, you would need to list that information under the contract amount, exclude tax field. So we'll navigate down to the price list. So for the price list, you're going to click create an item. And then you're going to start filling out your required information. And then you're going to do your detailed description. Just type that in, copy that in again. Can you see that? Let me make this bigger. There you go. All right. Our commodity. Right. Then we're going to list our label. Just repeat what our commodity is. Supplier information is already populated for you. Now you come over to pricing. You're going to leave the status as approved. And then you're going to start to put in your pricing. And then your quantity. And then click Save and Close. So that's how you would put in one of your line items. So I do want to also show you I wanted to show you the percentage off field and the variable price field. Let's come over here. So we have the percentage off field. So if you are getting a percentage off on a product, you would list the percentage off that you're getting. So I'm getting 10% off this item. And then you will list the price that you're going to pay here. So, all right. So that's how the percentage off list price works. So it's just informational. It doesn't display anywhere. Again, you would list the percentage that you're getting off, and then you have to do your calculations outside of the system. And then write what that calculated amount that you're going to be getting is. We do have the variable price field too. So there's a checkbox here. So if you check this box, then that will allow you to update the pricing on the requisition. So an example is fuel. Fuel, the price changes with fuel, it fluctuates, so you never know what that price is going to be. So checking this field, if the line item was filled, checking this box allows you to be able to update that price on the requisition. So that the pricing field will be empty on the requisition and editable. All right. So I want to point out those two fields for you. So I'm going to go ahead and save and close. All right. So that's us entering in a line item. Again, we have the orders tab. So this will display any orders associated with the contracts. You'll have links here, so you'll be able to view detailed information, purchase order, supplier information, and then purchase requisition information. Valuation tab again. It gives users a place to initiate performance evaluations for the contract. If you have any questions, please have your procurement manager reach out to your account executive. Right. So the documents tab. So there are two types of documents that you can add. You can add a main contract document. So that's any documents, related to the contract. And then other documents are non-contractual documents. All right. So we're going to click add, and then we're going to add a main contract document. That's your publication type. And you want to make it visible. I always like to click this information first because I forget it. So I always like to just click this first. And then you want to click MS Word authoring. And you're going to click and browse for your document. All right. And then we could hover over it to check the file size. So we want to click save, but I want to point out something. So you want to make sure that you give the system time enough to process. See how it's processing? All right. So you just want to make sure you give it time to process and don't do any extra clicking while that's processing. And then you'll see our document here. So from here, you can save and approve the document because we've already set our publication type. All right. So that's saved. You can click the back. So when you click the back, it's setting you up to add another document if you want to add another main contract document. If you don't, you would just click the navigation back again. All right. So that's how you would add a main contract document. We're going to add a other contract document. Special publication type, visible to the supplier. And here we're going to look for our document. Just do this one. All right, again, you can hover over it to check the file size and click save and wait for it to process. That flashed a little bit, but hopefully you still seen it when it was processing. So you just want to let that process until it refreshes. So we've set our publication type. We can save and approve. All right. And click back. And again, it's prepping you for your next document if you have one. So here we have added our documents. We have a other contract document and a main contract document. All right, our publication is set. The status is approved. Everything looks good. So we can navigate to the workflow tab. Again, the workflow tab lets you see the details of the contract's approval process. If no one is in these steps, then you would just keep approving it through to running and signed. All right. We have the expenditures tab. So the expenditures tab is where you could list any expenditures associated with the contract. Again, it stays with the version of the contract and doesn't carry over if you amend. All right, we're going to add our supplier, our subcontractor. Again, if you know them, you could select them from the drop down. If you didn't, you could type them in. All right, and to say that they're not even registered. All right, we're going to go ahead and type them in. And swam. The contact's name, contact's email address, the percentage amount or the planned amount. And we're going to leave the status as valid and click save and close. All right, that added our subcontractor. So again, I always like to just tab through before I submit it and just make sure everything looks good. All our dates look good. Renewals look good. Contacts, they look good. Okay. If I did list anything on the negotiated terms tab, they all look good. And the price list, got my items showing, pricing is shown, dates are valid. All that looks good. My documents have been approved, right? The publication has been set, vendor has been set. All right, I'm going to go back to the workflow tab and get ready to submit it. I'm going to save it again and submit for review. And again, if you don't have anyone in your agency in these roles, you would just keep on approving through to running and signed. All right, so it's running. So we're going to click on the overview tab and look down here. We see that our status is signed. So our contract is good to go. We just need to mark it as public. So again, the lock here is private. So we click the mark contract as public and click OK. So the contract is now public and should be available for you to see when you search for the contract on the public side. Right now, so we're going to go to amending a contract. So we'll just stay on this one. So we can click other actions. So some things don't require you to have to amend it. If you're doing if you're making like administrative changes or, making corrections, such as like updating a team member or contact information or, updating non-contractual attachments or you're just correcting errors. So we're going to click on other actions and then create amendment. It says, are you sure you want to amend this contract? You're going to click OK. And then here, where it says amendment reason, you're going to select your amendment reason. Do a modification. Or I'll do a correction. Maybe I got the price wrong. Okay, so we're going to do a correction. So for this page, that's if you didn't need to make any changes to this page, this is all you would have to do on this page and then click save. Then you would navigate. We're going to change the price list. So we're going to navigate to the price list and we're going to click on the pencil. And remember, we have to scroll down and click on the pencil again to get to the pricing. Right? So we're going to change that pricing to $80. And then click save and close. Click save and close again. All right. And we see our pricing updated. We can click save. And then if that's the only change that you needed to make, you can go ahead and submit it for review. And again, you just will step through the process if no one else in your agency is in those roles. All right. So the contract is running. The status is signed. It's public. So we can go to the hierarchy tab. And here is where you could see those different versions of the contract. So this is the first one we created. And then here is the amendment that we just created. So that is it. Do we have any questions about what we've seen here today?
I have one question. So if we're changing the contract administrator, like, or adding a contract administrator after the fact, I would have to amend it and do modification in order to be able to change those contacts, correct?
No, you could change them. It's not locked. You need to change the internal team member.
Yes, but when I go into it, it is locked. Like in the live version, and the
Okay.
only and I have other actions, but it's making me create an amendment in order to do that.
To add a team member.
Correct. And it's a running contract at the moment.
Okay. Um, we'll take a look at that.
Okay.
All right. Did
Good
anyone
morning.
have any other questions?
Yes, Tracy. When you're
Mhm.
in the beginning, when you're going through all the authorized entities portions, when you're developing the contract, and if the original procurement was like a cooperative procurement, would there be any extra things we need to do as we're developing the contract?
You would have to reach out to your account executive for that,
Okay.
because that still falls in the line of policy. So I'm just answering functional questions. We kind of tag team each other. So the account executives, they answer the policy, and I, answer the functional. So you kind of need to reach out to them for the policy questions.
So in this screen here, where the authorized entities drop down menu is,
Yes,
is that something that's populated through
you
Eva,
would
or
do that.
we would? Okay,
Yes.
gotcha.
So if you needed
That's why you're
someone
saying
else,
it's policy. Yeah.
no, if you needed to be if you needed to have someone purchase off of this contract, you would go in and enter them.
So like for like if there's a cooperative procurement that, let's say we're trying to purchase off of, somebody would have had to put us as an authorized entity in a contract in order for us as another state agency to purchase from
Yes.
it. Gotcha.
Yes, they would have to put you here.
And so that's like takes a lot of forefront planning, it sounds like, to make sure it's
That would
policy.
be
Sorry,
up
I'm
to
just
your,
thinking out.
yeah, I feel like that would be up to your, yep, they can help you if you want to reach out, share your thoughts, feedback, they'll be able to assist you.
Thank you.
No problem.
And another question for the contract functionality of this thing. Does this serve in place? Like, could this be the original contract?
Again, that's policy. You
Really?
will need to contact your account executive. I'm just talking functionality, showing you how to click it and tick it. I don't want to go into policy because that's their area. Um, they're more familiar with your agency. Everyone does different things at their agency. Everyone has different policies, different procedures. They are more closer to your policies and procedures. I'm not. So I would
And,
tell you to click everything. And I don't want to do
right.
that because, that's why
And,
I
and and
feel,
really, I guess the design of my question would be a functionality piece to it of like for like the EVA, would you know that is does the development of all this sub menus of a contract like could it I'm not asking for specific, just the overarching of like whoever's designing all these functionalities to get us more closer to automation and you know, optimizing these things. Like, does this module of contracts could it serve either now or in the future as like a original contract document? And I'm not trying to quote you. I was just trying to see the functionality of what the point is in the contract module here, and is it like could it serve as something? So that was more of like the design of my question, but nothing specific to policy at all. So thank you.
no problem. I would still prefer you to reach out to your account executive.
Yes, ma'am. I,
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Did anyone have any questions about anything we've seen on the screen today? Um,
It doesn't look like there's any questions in the chat.
okay. Okay. Well, please let us know if you have any questions in the future or would like to see anything. Like I said, please reach out to your account executive. They are awesome at facilitating, any things that you have, any questions that you may have. We do want to show you some resources that we have. So let me see if I can click here. Hopefully you're still seeing my screen. Oh, you still seeing my screen? Okay, thank you.
yep.
Awesome, awesome. So we have resources here where you can click on the EVA customer care. So we have some supplier assist requests where if you talk to a supplier and they have any questions, they can come here and click this to get in contact with EVA customer care. We have a buyer one too. Then we have our self-help videos and guides for suppliers and buyers. So this is where you can go to see the QRGs for the buyers and suppliers. Um, and then if you needed login help, you can click the form here, any billing requests. Then we can scroll down here to we have the UAT training links. If you have a UAT account, this is where you can go in as a buyer and start to create some of those solicitations of contracts. Um, and then we have the link to VBO where you could go and review those. Then we have the link to the show public contracts. So these are the two contracts that I just created. And we marked them public, so they're showing. Let's see, yeah. Then we also have the release notes here. So you can come here and see any updates that we made to the system. So this is the September 2025 one that we just released October the 2nd. So this has any bugs, any fixes that we made to the system, just to keep you up to date on any changes or anything that we made to the system. And I'll turn it back over to you, Mandy.
Great, thank you so
Sharon.
much. I believe
Awesome,
I
awesome.
just have another slide or two. Let me share my screen back up. All right, are we seeing the next step slide?
Yes, we are.
Perfect. Okay, now we'll go over what you can do after today's session to continue learning about EVA. Please complete the session survey to earn credit for your attendance. Remember, this will be in your LMS. I also just put that link in the chat. You may visit the training website for guides about EVA on various topics, including contracts, and use EVA because the only way to get better at something is to practice. So just like Tracy just shows you, if you have access to the UAT training environment, please practice in one of those. All right, that is it for us today. I'd like to thank your trainer for leading us in today's session. Tracy, you did a fantastic job as normal.
You do it as
A
well.
big
Thank you so much. Thank you.
a big thanks to everyone who attended as well. Hopefully this answered some of your questions, and we'll see you at another session. Reminder that the VLTs start back up in 2026. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you. See you at forum. Awesome, awesome, awesome.